All right. Thank you again for joining us here on Pep TV. We have Kimberly here, my sister, who is helping us spread this positive message and encourage others through her path to success. So, Kimberly, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. Kimberly, could you give us your first and last name, please?
Kimberly Shelby.
Very good. Kimberly Shelby. Oh, sounds like some applause in the background. All right, we have a live studio audience, I guess, around
Ah.
here. Well, that's great. Well, Kimberly, thanks for joining us, Kimberly Shelby. Kimberly, what part of the United States did you grow up in?
I grew up in Michigan, which is where I still reside, in a small town of Fowlerville, Michigan.
Fowlerville, very good. And in Fowlerville, you attended grade school and middle school there.
Yep, all through high school. Graduated from Fowlerville High School. Yeah,
Excellent. And what grade school did you attend in middle school? Were they the same, one and the same?
yeah, it was all Fowlerville, so it was
Okay.
just, Munn Middle School, but it was in Fowlerville. And then Fowlerville High School is a small town. I think I had just under 200 in my graduating class,
Okay.
so
Okay. Yeah.
not a big town at all. My family consisted of a good amount of that community.
That's pretty good. Well, that means that you got along and had friends, which was great.
Yep.
With your family, but in addition, while you're in grade school, middle school, and high school, what activities, what interests Kimberly during that time?
Yeah, so I was in a lot of sports. Grew up with sports, loved it from the time I was, little. All through high school, played volleyball, basketball, softball. In middle school, I did track and soccer, but when you get to high school, you have to choose.
That's right.
With the seasons overlapping, so I did that all through high school and was all state in softball. Made the all star team, and so yeah, that was my high school career. Other than babysitting, I had 14 brothers and sisters,
Wow.
and then my dad and mom owned a small business doing plumbing. So my dad was a master plumber, and so if I was not playing sports, I was watching brothers and sisters or plumbing a house with my dad.
Oh, well, that's great. I mean, that is really sweet to grow up in a household with a master plumber. Obviously, that's a job that just keeps on giving and it's never going away. Everyone needs to have plumbers, whether you're building or maintaining a home or apartment unit. So I bet you learned a lot there from your dad as well about commitment.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Was he the type of dad that was getting up in the middle of the night going to fix the sink?
Oh yeah, emergency calls every day but Sunday. Sunday was a day for family and rest and serving God. So, but you better believe that 6 out of the 7 days from dusk till dawn,
He was working.
he was out, and so were we if we were home.
Very good. Oh, that's great. That's great. And so you play softball during high school. Obviously, you're all state, so you're popular. What else interests you? I mean, your grades pretty good. You study hard.
I did. I had a good balance of studies and sports throughout high school, as well as maintaining the social life, and sometimes had to choose one over the other. But after high school, I went to college, and so had a good enough GPA there. I was the secretary of my graduating class. I was in the National Honor Society, part of the couple different clubs,
Okay.
throughout high school. So I stayed involved, with the community and with the school.
Okay. Very good. And what college did you wind up attending?
I went to Central Michigan University up in Mount Pleasant, where I got my bachelor's degree in human resources management, and a minor in legal studies. And then just a few years ago, I actually got my master's from there as well.
Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah, I'm familiar with Central Michigan. That's the Broncos.
Fire up chips.
Yeah.
Oh, Broncos!
Oh,
No,
I said Northern Michigan. That's Northern Michigan.
no,
Forgive me.
it's Western. It's
Oh,
Western.
Western. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So,
Western Michigan. Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yes, we had our rival Central Western weekends.
Okay.
But yes,
Well,
I was a Chippewa.
no, okay, okay. Forgive me, forgive me. No, well, that's great. And there in college, you say you study human resource management. You said your minor was what?
Legal studies.
Legal studies. And did you got your master's in human resource or legal studies as well?
I actually got my master's in just organizational leadership.
Okay, okay, very good, very good. So naturally in college, were you working as well?
I did. I worked at actually the food cafeteria in the dorms,
Okay,
just trying to make some money.
yeah,
And then I had a couple other retail jobs like Bath and Body Works, trying to make some money while going to school.
for
I would
sure.
come home, on the weekends and work with my dad at times, or help at the house. And so during the summers, my girlfriend's parents owned a greenhouse company,
Okay,
so had always a job during the summer, working with them and helping out where I can.
yeah. No, that's a beautiful story to tell. So, in college, after, I mean, naturally you're learning a lot. You stayed active. You had your social life. You completed college, and when you completed that step in your life, I know for me it was, my first job. I was like, oh wow, I got a college degree, and my HR, which is your background, she kind of closed the door and said, hey, well, that means nothing, but you completed something. And it's going to be a doctor or a lawyer, kind of broke my heart, but, just kind of telling me that, hey, that's a completion and you have to complete other things. So when you completed college, what was the first job that you entered afterwards?
Yeah, well, so actually, my junior year of college, I did an internship with Target
Okay.
Corporation. Completed that internship this summer between my junior and senior year. And then my senior year of school, I actually stayed on with Target and I was the campus liaison for Central Michigan as well as Michigan State.
Okay.
And so I was able to help other students, learn about Target, prepare for internship interviews, even students that were, seniors looking for an executive team leader role right out of college.
Hmm.
I hosted all of the recruiting events. People from Target would come up. I'd get all the interviews scheduled, prepare the students for the interview, do interview prep with them. So I actually worked for Target my senior year and had a job offer for them to work full time. So I was a little bit lucky in that sense of my whole senior year. I already had a job offer.
Yeah.
I remember my friends, scrambling and wondering what am I going to do when I get out. And thankfully, that internship was not something I actually needed to graduate. I had to go to a recruiting fair for a class and ran into some people from there and, fell in love with the company and was with them for 16 years after I
Wow.
graduated college.
And so you finished your master's while you were with Target as
I
well.
did, yep. So I was working full time at Target with kids and finished my master's degree.
Wow. Did they encourage you to go back for your master's, or is that just something that you ideally wanted as you looked at how you were growing in the organization?
Yeah, it's not necessarily something they encourage, but um, they do reimburse for continuing education. So it was just something that I'd wanted to do. I actually had started it about 6 or 7 years ago, and then kids came along, and I thought I don't know if I can do this. So it was a little while before some of those credits were going to expire, and thankfully I had people in my life that pushed me to just go back and get it and finish it, and that's what I did.
That's excellent. Okay, so you have your master's now. You completed 16 years in Target. What are some of the things that you learned? Because your trajectory obviously is much different from everyone's is different. We all have different paths to success. So you stayed with them for 16 years. Obviously, there was something there that kept you around. You're getting paid well. You're enjoying the experience. What were some of the things that you learned that kept you as a part of that Target organization?
Yeah, Target was a great company. I think a couple of the biggest things were the people I worked with, and then just the amount of growth and development that I learned. Both me as a person. I mean, I was young when I started with them. Right out of college, and it just what I grew into, both as a person and as a leader. So I think in those 16 years, I held 11 different positions. So there was just, there was constant change, constant growth, so many different experiences of, just developing others, learning about the culture of guest service and how, much they give back to their communities. Just a wide array of things that kept me there and just helped me become, who I am today.
Very good. So 16 years, Kimberly. What are you doing now? What got you to leave Target?
Yeah, so a couple years ago, so my last position with Target, I was the assets protection director. I had all 69 stores, so all of Michigan, Indiana, Ohio. I have two young boys that are 7 and 9, and as they started getting into sports, and I realized, just the time of family and how important that is. Retail in itself is a pretty demanding career, much less, the position that I was in. And my husband and I started looking at franchises and different things of what to do, beyond what's beyond Target.
Okay.
And so we started looking at that and just getting into something that we could be more involved in the community and do something on our own where we could help develop others and take the things that we did learn in our previous roles as far as developing others, creating a great culture. And so now we own a business, Vehicle City On-Site Fleet Services, as well as a consulting business, S&P Advisor Group, in which we help businesses just navigate through expense reduction strategies and tax strategies and things like that. So that's what we're doing now. It's definitely been a big change of pace going from the corporate world to the entrepreneur world. But it's been a really great experience and something that I've thoroughly enjoyed.
Very good. So what is the plan for Kimberly the next 5 years? Kimberly Shelby, the next 5 years. You started these new businesses. You're up and coming. You're 2-3 years into the game. Where does Kimberly see herself through the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, I think, it's continuing to grow both of the businesses. So, with Vehicle City, it's about how can we develop an organization that is known for, training, getting kids in the community involved in the trades. Working with the local colleges to get, some internships possibly going through the business. And then, S&P Advisor Group has kind of slowed a little bit with the amount of time I've spent with Vehicle City. So with that, we have a business partner who's in wealth management and in the financial world. And even with that, it still goes back to how can we help others? How can we, grow the business to be able to help other businesses, knowing what we've gone through. And also have talked about continuing education and possibly going back for a doctorate degree. So
that's great.
All in the horizon can happen.
That's right. Yeah, that was you had a little static there, but I did catch what you said regarding going back and getting your doctorates. I think that is that's a great plan to have, and we definitely wish you the best of luck in this journey. Kimberly, if there's any advice for young men, young ladies that are listening to this video that maybe start their internship, have a locked in job, are committed to stay in for the long term. And then, perhaps going another path, what would you have for them?
I think the biggest thing is, know what you want for yourself, and set your sights on it. I mean, there's things that I've asked for, and prayed on, and I think, unfortunately we don't have a choice for our plans. God's plan is already laid out for us. But if there's something that you want, go after it and go get it, and don't let other people tell you can't do it, or you're not going to make it. And show them what you can do.
That's awesome. Well, this is part one of part two. I'm sure the young people and myself, I've gathered a lot of information about you, and I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to learning more. So please stay tuned for part two of Mrs. Kimberly Shelby as she shares her journey, and hopefully you can learn and follow some of the same footsteps that she's taking.
Awesome. I've appreciated the time, Brandon.
No problem. Appreciate you too. Talk to you soon, Kimberly.
Take care.